Hi guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video, I'll be doing my episode recap and review for the Season 1 finale of CBS's Zoo. Now, before I begin, of course, with all my recap and review videos, please be warned this will be full of big spoilers, especially since the last night's episode was the big season finale of Zoo. So, if you are not caught up on Zoo, do not continue watching or listening to this video as I will be discussing big spoilers. You have been warned. That being said, very good episode. Very good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting how they had a time jump. Okay, well, just to quickly recap. The plane goes down, somebody's being rescued, we can't see who it is yet, and it's not an official boat rescuing him, it looks like a fisherman. It's Jamie, and she's got a nasty piece of metal sticking out of her leg, and this old guy brings her aboard his boat, brings her to his house. We don't see where it is, or, we don't see where it is. He pulls the metal out of her leg. She wakes up. It's been a very long time since she's waken up, and she realizes that she's been gone for a while, and this guy, of course, doesn't speak English. He looks Native American or something like that, and she's wondering where she is. And it turns out, as the episode continues, Jackson is doing video diaries, very reminiscent of his late father, the man who was who would later take his own life because he thought he was going yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo. But, Jackson starts doing these video diaries, and with the dates, we keep seeing the time jumps. So it goes from, it's funny, it goes from September 13th to all the way to December 8th of 2015. So there's like a 3-month time jump right there. So it's been 3 months since the plane crash, and it seems that the animal crisis is getting more and more out of control. It's like society is still intact, it's still functional, except the animals have gone completely ballistic, and they are now literally roaming the streets. Jackson is telling us, the viewers, and to the camera, that he and Chloe have been working with the government and other scientists trying to resolve this crisis, but unfortunately, the cure was lost at sea, and he is under the impression that Jamie was lost at sea as well. And that doesn't answer, it answers the question that Jackson survived and Chloe survived, but what about Mitch and Abraham? And, we don't see what happened to them. Mitch is off drinking in some bar somewhere, and we're not really sure where it is, although they're probably all within the same city. Abraham has joined this interesting biker gang militant group who seem to be doing community services, like protecting people or providing security escorts to people who want to travel outside of their homes in animal-filled streets, and he wears a black vest and everything, and he's part of some militant gang or whatever. And these guys are like, from the looks and sounds of them, it looks like they help people survive this animal crisis. Even though we're not in full-on apocalypse mode yet, people are already gearing up for it because they've got guns and a huge armory on the wall, and they're talking about their recent encounters and engagements with massive hordes of animals. One guy was talking about how he survived Louisiana or somewhere down south, how he survived being attacked by a whole horde of wild boars. He's like, I've never seen that many wild boars in my life. And Abraham has apparently joined them, and he's off on his next assignment. We're not sure what it is. And he insists on taking the tranquilizer gun. He doesn't seem to, I'm sure he'll protect himself if necessary, but he doesn't seem interested in carrying live ammunition despite his leader's protest, his boss's protest. So Abraham is alive. Mitch is alive. All of our characters are alive. They're just all under the impression that poor Jamie is dead. And along with her also is the cure, because the cure went down in that plane. Their one little jar of serum that they had created in Africa, the one they used on the chained up dog, lost at sea. And this was most likely an intentional attack. Well, not when I say intentional, I mean whatever attacked him, it was birds or bats or both. They didn't attack it with the intent of knowing, ooh, the humans who created the cure are on that plane and we have to stop them. Though they just attacked it because of the hyper-aggression they're all experiencing, and they just happened to attack the plane that our main characters were on. So now that the cure was lost, our main characters, at least Jackson and Chloe, are so desperately trying to find a way to solve the crisis. Chloe is working with their new ally, Amelia Sage, this this American politician, or I don't know if she's a politician or she's some kind of government official who's actively working with the U.S. military and other government forces all over the world in trying to contain this crisis, or at least keep it at bay, keep the public safe. But unfortunately, their efforts have been very futile. Like their reconnaissance mission that went to Zambia to relocate the leopard pride, which they did find, and they actually were able to capture a leopard and get it away from the rest. But unfortunately, they were attacked by a massive, massive flock of birds because they're watching all this happen on radar, or that heat vision thing, whatever you call it, and they just see it happen through their satellite link-ups, and you see this massive, big, red blob of birds attacking the U.S. soldiers on the ground and whatnot. And so it's like, basically the situation's pretty hopeless. You know, that's what they're painting this whole episode as, is to be quite hopeless, unfortunately. However, you know, it's interesting because as down in their luck our characters are, they still have each other somewhat. I mean, Jackson and Chloe are obviously an item, but Mitch and Abraham don't seem to stay in touch with them, and Abraham has even admitted to his client, he goes to this guy's house, picks this old man up, and I guess he's agreed to drive him to the hospital for chemotherapy. But the old man insists they make a stop first, and but while they're on their way to this little quick pit stop, they encounter an enormous rhino in the middle of the road. In the black of night, there's hardly anybody. Well, there's nobody, no people, no cars out in the street, and they run into this rhino. Well, not literally run into it, but Abraham immediately turns around and gets the hell away from the rhino. They head to this, I guess, secret restaurant where people still serve meat because during our time jump, obviously, the crisis has worsened and there's been thousands of human casualties due to hyper animal aggression and animal attacks. And so now people are creating these little underground restaurants where you can eat meat and feel safe or not guilty or something. And the old man makes an interesting point about, despite the crisis happening, he's still happy that he will eventually see his family someday, because he got a phone call from his son saying, "Hey, Dad, we're coming out to D.C. in the old camper to come out and get you, and come out and see you." And the reason he's telling Abraham this is because Abraham has informed him he lost a good friend in the plane crash, and he actually ignores and completely isolates himself from his other friends, you know, Mitch, Chloe, and Jackson, mostly Jackson. He's like, you know, whenever I see them, it reminds me of our failure. So he's taken a really, really hard hit, as is Mitch. Mitch is picking fights in bars. He's a regular at this bar, and he's kind of, you know, he's become kind of a drunk, feeling sorry for himself. And of course, he feels bad about losing the cure and feeling like the world is coming to an end, but he also feels bad he's lost his newfound love, Jamie. So he's become quite a mess too. I'd say Chloe and Jackson are more functional messes. At least Chloe seems way more driven and determined out of the rest of our characters, because she's still actively working with the government, trying to figure out how to stop this crisis. And of course, all their crimes are in the past. They've been given immunity by the government. And unfortunately, they're forced to work with a very hostile force. Raiden Global is taking the initiative to help the world cleanse itself of this animal crisis. And they're watching this presentation, Chloe and Amelia are, and the presentation is basically saying, we're going to go Jurassic Park on this problem. We're going to kill all of the infected animals, or every single animal all over the world, from the domesticated ones to the wild ones, and we're going to replace them all with genetically created clones. Are you kidding me? That is a horrible, horrible idea. Raiden Global is the whole reason you got into this mess in the first place. They're the ones who fucked everything up with their products, with the mother cell. They're the ones who made the animals all go batshit crazy in the first place, and now they're in the lead in helping the world try to resolve this crisis. Yeah, they could be trying to make up for their mistakes, but it's not because of a guilty conscience. It's because of profit. And they're trying to put their dirty secrets in the past, you know, trying to hide it from everybody. So they're working with the government, of course, even though it discusses Amelia and Chloe, but it's like, ugh. You know, unless they come up with a better solution, they're going to have to do Raiden Global solution, which is kill every single animal all over the world and replace them with genetically created clones. So they're basically going to go Jurassic Park on the whole planet with the whole animal population. Gee, how did that work in Jurassic Park in the Jurassic World? Oh, that's right, not very well. Come on, people, be smarter than that. But you know, that's just part of the struggle. And but as I said, overall, this episode was very, very good. You know, we saw our characters in the worst they've ever been, worse than they were when they were on the run or when they were still initially investigating this crisis. This is the worst off we have seen any of our characters, especially since they're all under the belief that poor Jamie is dead. The cure is gone. There is no chance for hope. Nothing. Abraham gets, you know, a slight return to his former self. Like he finds himself feeling a bit more hopeful and confident after talking to this old man. He reconnects with Jackson, and then Jackson, while getting an injured neighbor's drug prescription and fighting off cats, dogs, and baboons, which was a great scene, by the way. It's like, oh good, he escaped the cats and dogs. Oh, ick, a baboon. And baboons were not very pleasant creatures to begin with. And now there's one right in front of him. I'm like, ha! I was like, ooh. And he fights him off with a baseball bat, and then he fights off a German Shepherd after that. But fortunately, he survives. And so now with hardly any people or traffic in the streets, animals are essentially literally all over the place. Society, like I said, remains intact, but the crisis just continues to worsen and worsen and worsen until finally the guy who was keeping Jamie safe and alive in his home, and at first you think he's keeping her captive. He kind of is, but not intentionally, because there's a big fence surrounding his property. It turns out that's to keep the animals out, and I think they're either in Canada or Alaska, somewhere up north in North America, and they're attacked by grizzly bears and wolves that come charging at Jamie when she tries to escape this guy, but he saves her, pulls her back into his property line and closes the fence as the grizzly bears and wolves try to get in. It's like, oh great, now we're trapped here surrounded by wild predators. And fortunately, he gives her a phone and she manages to call Mitch, who at first is completely taken off guard that she is alive, but you can tell he's so overwhelmed with joy and happiness in his voice and his face as he's talking to her on the phone. She's alive, and better news, the little leopard cub survived the plane crash. The guy rescued Jamie and the leopard cub in its crate, and now it's a full-grown leopard. And now they have a chance. Now there's a new hope again. Now this leopard could contain the cure, which they could derive from its DNA, and they could use that to create the cure. And Jackson had an idea, since they can't do an airborne thing to affect all of the animals, they could somehow apply it and introduce it to mosquitoes. Mosquitoes could carry the cure in their bodies, and they feed off of every living thing on Earth. Reptiles, birds, mammals, everything. And Jackson and Chloe make this case to Amelia. It could work. Unfortunately, all of their leopards in Zambia were contaminated, so it seemed like there was no hope. But now they have a new hope. With Jamie and the leopard both being alive, they have a chance again, a fighting chance to take back the Earth from the animals once again and completely eliminate this crisis. Not necessarily kill off the animals, just eliminate the hyper-aggression and stop the animal attacks. And it's getting worse and worse every day. And so this brings our characters together. News of Jamie being alive along with the leopard, and so the four of them reconnect and like, all right, we're gonna drive to Delaware, and then from Delaware we'll take a boat up to where Jamie is. And they still don't specify, but it's most likely Canada or Alaska. So they're gonna take a boat because obviously you can't really do air travel nowadays with bats and birds attacking everything in the air. So as they're getting ready to leave, oh my god, this was an awesome scene. The street is just packed with animals, completely packed with all sorts of animals. We hear and see elephants, rhinos, lions, tigers, gorillas, cats, dogs, a couple of smaller primates, and some smaller mammals, and they're all coming at our main characters down the road here. And everyone's like, uh-oh. And Abraham's like, well, this isn't good. Does anybody have any ideas? I am completely open to suggestion. And the last shot of the season finale, is like a backwards, like the camera shot is like backing up, and it's like a bird's eye view. We see the car with our four heroes in it, and the animal horde is slowly walking towards them, and all of a sudden they all roar and start charging at the car. Cuts to black. End of season. Oh, talk about cliffhanger. Damn it. Now I really, really hope this gets renewed for a second season, because I want to see what happens next. Oh, please, please, please let this be renewed for a second season, because the show was lacking originally. It started off great, and then towards the middle there, it got kind of weird, a bit slow. Still interesting, but kind of slow. But these last 5 episodes have been amazing. So please, please renew the show for a second season. We still got to give it a chance, and I hope you guys are looking forward to a second season like I am, because I really enjoyed this first season. As a fan of the graphic novel, I recognized and saw so many elements from the graphic novel they put in the show, and I like how they've changed things up on the show as well, and I am looking forward to so much more next season. Hopefully there is a second season. Fingers crossed. So let's hopefully, it seems very hopeful from the articles I've read online that CBS will most likely renew this for a second season, and hopefully they announce it and make it official very soon. So overall, great episode. I hate cliffhangers, but it was a good cliffhanger, and it left me wanting more, so that's a very good sign. So I hope they renew it for a second season, and I hope you guys enjoyed this season of Zoo as well, and I'm glad that you guys stuck with it as long as I did. Well, guys, thanks you so much again for tuning in here on the EdWord for all of your episode review and recap needs. I will see you next time. Next time we have to talk about Zoo, or when we get an official announcement that Season 2 is definitely happening. So stay posted, stay tuned for that video. Please like this video, comment, sound off, share your thoughts and opinions down below. What did you like about this season? Do you have a favorite character so far? Favorite animal attack? Favorite episode? Why? Please leave your thoughts and opinions down below. This is all about reaching out to you guys and wanting to hear from you. It's all about listening to your feedback. Well, guys, thanks again for tuning in here on the EdWord. Stay tuned for more upcoming content and videos. Have a great rest of the night, everybody. And of course, until next time, keep an eye on your cat and dog. They may be plotting to kill you.